time for Common Man. Common Man, charged the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh, boy. Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
I mean, it's like, hello?
And I want to make this perfectly clear right at the beginning of the show. This montage, as much as I thoroughly enjoyed it, was not my idea, because I know once we get hip cricket up, by the way, that's the voice of Nordo in the background. No, go ahead, Nordo. We don't care. We're trying to figure out how to get hip cricket. Is that what it's called? The text messaging thing. Yeah. It's all screwed up. Apparently, Cove's getting thrown under the bus. The maestro of the middays, initials game invent, already stole the idea from a Kansas City radio station. He must have logged out, is what he's being thrown under the bus.
Okay.
So I can't see the complaints yet, because I'm sure, this is a Viking station. What do you do with a Lions montage? Well, what do you do having a Lions fan hosting a show in Minnesota, the flagship station? As much as
Very good impression, by the way.
Thank you. As much as I enjoyed it thoroughly, Teneby was solely responsible. I did not ask. I didn't say, hey, did you put a Lions montage together for us? The performance was worthy of one.
Sure.
And let me just say this, Teneby. I know that, as an extended family member of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings, master control supervisor, it can't be your year all the time. I mean, it's just not your year this year. It's no big deal. It's the year of the cat. That's what it is. But it's becoming evidently clear as each, and I'm as stunned and surprised as anybody that they threw for 85 yards yesterday and they still put up 52 points. How do they do the things that they're doing? You've got to be kidding me. Well, the special team, the Titans are really bad. I've discovered they, and allegedly, and that's why all these stats can be so misleading. Allegedly, they have the best defense. Do they really have the best defense in the National Football League? I guess by those stats like, yards per game or points per game. But their defense really wasn't very good yesterday.
No.
Of course, when you're working on a short field like they were, every time the Lions returned a punt or a kick, they went for 70, 80, 90 yards. Oh, look at it. Looks like it worked. Let's see. It's still spinning. Google Chrome. Here we go. Hip cricket. Beautiful. Thank you.
All right, party on.
Party on. Can't thank you enough.
To your point, though, the defensive statistics, because they go off of yardage, right? When you're ranking teams, it's based off of how much yards you give up. That's where they rank them. And then those can be very deceiving with defenses. Because one, as you just mentioned, if your offense is so bad that it gives the other team a short field,
right? Well,
they have less yardage to go. And game script also plays into it. If your team is always trailing in the second half, the other team is just running the ball at that point. They're not trying to get up and down the field. So those things are very deceiving.
Yes, that's...
So even like Vikings-wise, eliminate the last two games, but previous to the last two games, their yardage rankings were not that great, but they're forcing turnovers left and right. And because they were winning in every single game, it changes the way, the flow of the game.
Here we go. Teneby, they're coming in at breakneck speeds. Let's start going through some of them here. Noon already? Alrighty then. Then this one says, Kitty's montage with not one, not two, not three, but 4 exclamation marks. Then one says, what do you think of Lions now?
Now, what do you think?
This one says, Lions play-by-play guy is a national treasure. I'm not sure if he is, but he does a nice job. Gross. A Lions montage. I'm sorry you had to put that together, Tenna. You deserve a raise, good sir. Do a montage for them after they beat a Minnesota actual team. Titans? Okay. Delivering your laundry guy. Well, they've won 5 in a row, and it hasn't been 5 games against the Titans. It's not like they play a 5-game series. Trust me.
Well, the way they've played, that Vikings loss doesn't look so bad.
No, it doesn't.
They were competitive. Played right with them.
Detroit montages? No, just no. Then, weird, 2 weeks in a row, and we have to listen to your Lions montage. I thought this was the home of the Vikings. Keep it up, yes man, Tenna. You're a yes man. So I go, Tenna, I want a Lions montage. And you go, I'm not going to do it. And I go, you'll do it or else.
And I say, yes, sir. Three bags full, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Here's one. Oh, great. Lions fan line. Just what I want on the home of the Vikings. Back to interim. Chris from Lino Lakes. See what else we get. Is Common Man doing the montage today, or is Tenna B? I don't know. Lions radio? Jeez. Great montage. Here's one. That montage convinced me I'm on the Lions bandwagon. Here's another. I'm a Vikings fan. During this montage, I found myself digging through my closet looking for a Honolulu blue shirt to wear. So people are starting to embrace it. Why not? Why fight it?
That one.
Here's another. Year of the Cat. Love it. So, yeah, there are some people that are taking it in the... Here's one. Lions montage. Wow, on the Vikings flagship. That's unbelievable. Sure sounds like you're just playing to your audience of bit lovers. Well, we are. That's what we do. We play to our audience, and our audience are bit lovers. They like the bit. They like the Lions montage. You don't have to like the Lions. A lot of people like them. You don't have to like the Lions, but you have to respect them. Right?
Yes.
You don't like the Lions, but you respect them. And that's what I think people are doing.
Actually, you kind of like the Lions.
Yeah, they're kind of fun, aren't they?
If the Vikings get eliminated, my two teams are the Lions and the Chiefs. That's what I like their style of play.
Lions, Packers, and Bears. Oh my! How about that? How about that loss?
It's a tough one.
Well, though I do think the nation's reaction to it is a little over the top. I know it was a Hail Mary, but it's not the first Hail Mary that's ever been completed before. But people like it. The best part was when. Who was the kid for the Bears?
Tyreek Stevenson.
He's taunting taunting the fans, or is he taunting the other team, or he's taunting
the fans? Yes,
because it's over. He doesn't think they're going to be able to complete the Hail Mary, and I don't know what percentages of Hail Marys are completed. What do you think the percentage is? 2%, 1%?
I would say maybe the 5, 6, 7, 8%
I would
range.
Think so. Yeah, it's got to be 5 or 6, I would think. And was he also the guy that tipped it too?
Yes.
I was told he was the guy
running from the other side of the field because he wasn't ready.
Well, then, aren't you supposed to knock those down rather than tip them back? I love the reaction of the guy that caught it. He didn't do some maniacal celebration or spike. He just dropped the ball, looked at the crowd, and said, "We just got a gift." So the Bears fall to 4-3. Kitties won 5 in a row there. They 6-1. Packers win. Packers, they played 8 games now?
They're a half game ahead of the Vikings. They're 6-2.
6-2. Purple's 5-2.
But Jordan Love got hurt in that game.
Yeah, he did.
Something to monitor.
Bears 4-3. Goff kind of busted up his ankle a little bit. Why he was still in the game as late as he was, I have no idea, but it looks like he'll be okay. But we have plenty of NFC North chatter. We'll do plenty of Vikings talk. So many other things to get to. Tennessee Gophers look like a real football team, man. I mean, they finally have discovered the forward pass, which is a big bonus when you're playing football. It's nice to throw it downfield every once in a while. The Max Brosmer kid seems to be... I know I got ripped for being a fraud on Twitter. I wasn't going to watch the World Series. I'd given up on baseball because I don't like the Yankees or the Dodgers. I didn't see any of Game 2, but I did see Game 1. It was Tennessee was one for the ages. It was a brilliant baseball game that ended with the first ever walk-off grand slam in the history of the grand old game. So we've got that to talk about. And I'm still mad about the parade. Is it in the Canyons of Champions? What do they call it in New York? I think it's the Canyon of Champions, because when they go down inside the skyscrapers, they call it a canyon. That's where they call it. Haven't you ever heard that?
No.
Well, then you must not have been. Oh, let me guess. You weren't where they listen. You were just waiting for your chance to talk. We talked about it last week. I think they call it the Canyon of Champions when they do their parade routes. I'm still mad about it. That's our parade. And I'm still annoyed that we got that excrement stole from us, but we did. So there is plenty to get to. A short break. We'll come back with more. Tennessee, you have I think you have a keyword. Still doing the keyword, or is that
yes.
done?
Yeah, we got a new week up at the Fan and 2 men in a junk truck. Want to give you a shot to put $1,000 in your hand with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword bank at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. The keyword is bank. Enter now at KFAN.com. Stick around following every noon Vikings game this season for Vikings Overtime, hosted by Meat Sauce, presented by Park Chrysler Jeep. Presented by Park Chrysler Jeep in Burnsville. Catch them all right here on KFAN and on the free iHeartRadio app.
Double 13-14 pass, Common Man program. I'm Common East Tennessee. You're getting ripped.
This sounds like a Sunday night or Thursday night football game intro, doesn't it?
I think that's actually where they stole it from. Waiting all day for. Well, we've talked about this. These unlicensed songs that we play as bumper music now. And by the way, I've defended the company. See, BMI and ASCAP are licensing, music licensing organizations. So in order for radio stations, TV, movies, even your local bar, if it has live music, they have to pay BMI ASCAP. Because if you're using somebody else's work, you know, if you're a Springsteen cover band, Beatles cover band, or if you're just a cover band, you're the Vomiting Armadillos, Chris Hawkey's Vomiting Armadillos, and you're playing songs that you did not write, somebody needs to get paid for those. So radio, our company, 800 stations large, I bet we pay millions in ASCAP BMI license fees, but that was before the podcast genre started, right? So podcast wasn't covered. So now the BMI and ASCAP and the record companies and the artists are going, whoa. We didn't agree to this. And I don't blame them, and I don't blame us for going, okay, well, we'll write you another check for $30 million. Just have it on a podcast. It's not that big. The music doesn't make that much of it. I miss it.
Sure, I do too.
Dylan duets.
Thunder Island, Weather Report.
Weather Report. I used to love when you would play a song and I would try to guess. And I hope people know, and you can attest to this, you never alerted me to the songs ahead of time.
No.
You would just play them and I would try to guess what year they were released and what where they ended up on the chart. I'd nail a lot of them. Usually I'd get the year. That's not too difficult. Thank you. Getting exactly where it charted was always a more difficult to one, but this one says, this one went after Tennessee. Oh, how convenient. Tennessee Lions and Chiefs. Two best teams in the NFL and favorites to be in the big game. Shocker. So you're getting ripped there.
I was a Lions fan before they made the run they did.
Yeah.
First, they have the best color combination and uniforms in all the football. And I just like the vibe. I like the way they play.
Oh, they play. Trust me, they play. This one, by the way, is and he's right. I'm going to try to be. On Friday, when Lil B comes in, we always take a look at those psychological stories that, profiles that you try to profile you as, what kind of a person you are. And the one we used Friday was 10 things. If you're doing these 10 things, there's a reason why people are trying to avoid you and don't like you. And 9 of the 10 were me. So I guess I'm unlikable, unlovable, unhuggable, not fun to be around. I can tell you're depressed working this show. I can just see it in you. I think you, and I hope that you're not going to have to do what's one of those antidepressant medications, Zantac, I think. I hope you don't have to do any of that and don't get so depressed. But I'm going to try to be less acerbic.
What does that mean?
Could you look up acerbic?
I don't even know I could spell it.
Acerbic. It's not good. Acerbic means, I think, sort of snarling and backbiting. I think it's going to describe me. My picture might be there.
Acerbic. Sour or astringent in taste, harsh or severe as of temper or expression.
I'm very harsh and severe. I mean, I don't know if acerbic is perfect. Look up Richard and see if there's a picture of me. And if they say Dick for short, antonyms, synonyms. For a synonym, it would be, for Richard, it would be dick. It would be. But the reason you'd never heard of Canyon of Champions, because that's not what it's called. It's actually Canyon of Heroes.
Okay.
Canyon of Heroes. Have you heard of that?
No.
Just say, well, of course
Yes.
I have.
Of course I have.
Well, why didn't you say it right the first time?
Of course you screwed it up.
Yeah. How was I supposed to? You made me feel bad that I didn't know Canyon of Champions. That's not what it's called, Common. That's what it's called. It's called the Canyon of Heroes. Here's what it says on Wikipedia. Runs on Broadway from the Battery to City Hall through the Financial District. The parade route is marked with commemorative plates of major past parades. They've had a lot of them there in New York, right? Do you think they have commemorative plates for every Macy's Day parade, too? Because they do a Macy's Day. They get at least one parade every single year in New York City.
Yeah.
They get one, for sure. We get none. We've had two. Well, no, we've had WNBA ones. We've had a half a dozen.
Yeah.
That's basically about it. Matter of fact...
Do you think I'm coming up with an idea here, trying to brainstorm, trying to ideate.
Yeah.
In this town, given we never have parades because we don't win the big one,
Correct.
should we start having parades for the biblically bad teams? The worst of the worst. We could be known as Canyon of
Losers.
biblically bad. Yeah, Canyon of losers.
Well, some years we'd have to just block off an entire section of downtown Minneapolis for the entire year. We just couldn't even do anything
But we should
else.
celebrate it.
I'm all for it. You know me, historically good or biblically bad. This person says they actually call it Canyon of Heroes, which is far worse and way more idolized and pedestalized than it is because, John Creasel's a hero.
Yes.
John Elway's not a hero.
No.
He's not. Again, in the loose definition of it. Hell, Tenneby, when you shot that 74, which was an experience not unlike a PGA golfer, that was a heroic performance from you. You could describe it that way. I don't think most people would. I know. The esoteric approach will strike again on the side of the break. There are several esoteric ideas that you don't go along with. There are others that you do. I got a new one, Tenneby, and I want to see if you agree with it. And it has to do with a current and certain play that is making all the highlight reels from yesterday's National Football League. We broached the topic earlier. We'll return to it. It's the Grum on the Fan.
Your Minnesota Wild are red hot to start the season. Don't miss out on seeing them in action. Tickets are available now at wild.com/hockey tickets. That's wild.com/hockey tickets to get your tickets today.
Election day coming up, Tenneby. Still haven't decided who I'm going to vote for. For a while, I thought I was going to vote for Kirill.
Capriza.
But I don't think he's eligible, right? Because
he's not a U.S.
citizen, so I can't vote for Kirill. So I'll continue to mull of Kintyre it over. How about this? Going to be a lot of ideas for what we should call if we ever have another championship parade, or if we go with your idea and just for when we have biblically bad seasons, Canyon of Zeros. Canyon of Zeros is not a bad. Here's another one. Canyon of Calamity.
I like that.
Here's one. The Bland Canyon.
That's really good.
That's really good. Here's another
I feel like that's more for me, though.
Yeah, the Blandon Canyon. Here's another good one, too. Labyrinth of Losers. That's really good. I like that.
I always love that one.
That's a nice play on words there. So, yeah, there are a number of people that are weighing in on this. We'll have to see how that goes. It says in reading, it actually has its own Wikipedia page. The Canyon of Heroes is the name for the over 200 black granite plaques that commemorate and list every single ticker tape parade in New York City. Over 200, Tenneby. We've got 6. 4 WNBAs, 2 World Series. Maybe we could just lower our our standards a little bit? Like, how about
Actually, we added a women's hockey one.
Okay.
The Frost.
So we have 4 or 7. How about we lower our standards a little bit and like if our minor league team wins like their division championship, like let's say the St. Paul Saints were to win their league title. I mean, even just win their division, we could.
If you do college, we've had a couple men's hockey national championships.
Well, and you go back to Bronco Nagurski's days, and the football team back when it was leather helmets won a couple of natties. The plaques are embedded in the sidewalks along Broadway in Lower Manhattan. They run on both sides of the street, from the beginning of Broadway at Battery Place all the way north to Chambers Street, right next to City Hall. Each plaque is placed within about 20 to 25 feet of the other, with some variations. Every single one lists the date of the parade and the event being celebrated. The pathway of the Canyon of Heroes is the same route taken by the ticker tape parades in New York City. And then here's how it got its name, blah, blah, blah. And we're done. That's as far as we need to go. But that's how it all started and why it's there.
I like Canyon of Zeros.
How about this? Lane of Losers. That's another good one. Then there's Trench of Terribleness. I mean, it doesn't really have the alliteration, but I do like Trench because, we've bottomed out.
Feels like we're in the trenches all the time.
We've bottomed out for sure. It's going to be over the years, the esoteric approach, and I can't explain it. Matter of fact, I've had you. Let's do it again. You learn something new every day. Could you Google esoteric and read the definition to people? And once you hear the definition, if you've not, you'll say, well, that's common. That's how he analyzes sports. That's just his approach to it, because it is so different and it's not understood by many people. Matter of fact,
esoteric.
I think that's part of the definition.
Esoteric.
Understood by or meant for only the select few who have special knowledge or interest.
That'd be me. Understood by few. Several esoteric approaches to sports, Tenby, I think you've agreed with. I think you like the idea of a sumo wrestler in the nets in hockey.
Yeah.
500-pound guy. They're huge. He's 400 or 500 pounds. Put him between the pipes. As long as he can stand on skates, you can't get the puck past him. I don't know why no one's ever thought about it before. I think you also like getting Manute Bol type of basketball player to play special teams for a pro football team and stand there directly in the line of the place kicker, the holder, and the goalpost and raise up his arms, because that ball, especially on the longer field goals, that got to start a little bit lower. I don't think they can kick it over him. I think you would get a number of block kicks that way. I don't think you're in favor of running the tush push on first, second, third down. I until it fails. I mean, no one's ever really tried it. They've never been able to. No one has been able to stop. Who's the kid for Philly?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. Your mama can't stop him. Your daddy can't stop him. The police can't stop him. No one's been able to stop him. So until you can stop him, I would try that. Another one that I know you don't agree with is signing 5 free agent running backs and having them all in the same back.
Don't quite agree with that one.
I don't think you agree with that one. Will you agree with this one? Hail Mary. And I brought this up before. Why do you rush 3 and keep 8 back? 100%. I would do the opposite. I would rush 8 and keep 3 back. Or, maybe 4. But because if you blitz and send everybody, well, one thing is not all their wide receivers can go out then, right? Because if you only have 5 guys on the line and the quarterback, that's 6 guys, and you got 8 on the line or 7, sorry, you're outnumbered. And once anytime you blitz, even on a blitz during just we see it here in Minnesota with B-Flow. Even on a play where the kid gets rid of the ball and makes a completion, it's split second and it's a short pass. It's like a 4-yard gain. That's all you can do. Why do they let the guy? I mean, Jalen Daniels, is that who? Jaden
Daniels, yeah.
From the time he took the snap till the time he let go of the ball, how much time expired? 20 seconds, 30 seconds?
Yeah, the ball a long time.
He's just running around and you're trying to cover him. Go after him, man, because he's not going to be able to stay. Now, I guess you could get burned, but until you get burned on that over and over and over again, I just think well, and even if Jaden Daniels was able to get the ball off, but only held the ball for 4 or 5 seconds,
the wide receivers still need to get to a point where they're down the field.
That's correct.
And it's a lot harder when that ball's being thrown and now you're running and you got to look over your shoulder and then you got to jump as opposed to everyone already being set up in the end zone like you're playing a game of 500 and just throw the ball up.
Yeah. And I don't know why.
It's easier to catch it then.
I don't know why a team has never thunk of that. I've never seen them do it. It's always like, well, we got to drop. And again, if the percentage, and we've guessed it to be 5 or 6% success rate on a Hail Mary, you'd say, well, if the numbers show that's the best way to do it. I don't know. It sure didn't work yesterday. I just think putting pressure on the quarterback right away is the best.
Even if you take away Hail Mary, just like 2-minute drill in general, I feel like defensively teams are not aggressive enough. They play so scared. I feel like you should never be rushing just 3 or even 4. I'd be sending 5.
I would be doing the same exact thing. NFC North, we had 2 winners, 1 loser yesterday. And again, we were just talking about the Hail Mary where the Bears had that game in the bag. I mean, that was generally speaking, if let's say the 5% ratio is accurate, they had a 95 out of 100 times they had a chance to win that game, and they did not. They fall to 4-3. Lions win. They go to 6-1. They've won 5 in a row. They dismantled the Titans, and it was just such an odd game. I watched it, and they really never had to have it. They were given a short field over and 4 interceptions, I believe, in the game. The defense, and I still don't think the Lions' defense is particularly that good. Yet they were against Tennessee. They were able to force 4 turnovers. Their punt returner or the kick returner returned 1 for a tutty. Their punt returner had another, was it 70? He had another one called back too, or maybe it was another kickoff return. There was one called back that went for like 70 yards. They had that one. They were on their way to having like 300 yards in return yards and just in returns. But they destroyed. And then the Packers, it looked like they had it, and then it looked like they'd given it away when football Fabio guy. What is his name?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence took him down the field and put up a tutty to give him a lead with 1.5 minutes to go, but then Green Bay came
with their backup quarterback.
With Malik Beasley? No.
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis let him down the field. And that's another one where, you know, the Bear player, what was the Bear player that was taunting?
I think it was Tyreek Stevenson.
So Tyreek Stevenson's taunting. But, I mean, I don't know if you watch into the Green Bay. They clicked to it after the Detroit game. They said, let's go to the Green Bay game now. So you saw the very end. And once they got the tutty, Trevor Lawrence started doing the, you know, when you're doing the chirp sign where you're taking your 2 fingers and your thumb and you're going like this, he started taunting because my guess is some Packer players have been taunting him or the team. So after they got the tutty to tight, he starts doing this like at the Green Bay players. Of course, then there was no more chirping after Green Bay drove down the field and kicked the game winner. But these guys, it's the celebrations again. I saw one yesterday where a defender intercepted the pass, and he was just going to leave the field. But one of his buddies came up to him and go, no, we got to go back and do our big celebration. So they ran 70 yards down the field to the other end zone to do their rehearsed celebration. And, you know, I'm not against them. It's not like I'm never going to watch a game and get into a but I just find them silly to begin with. They're just impromptu ones where you're really excited. They're kind of cool, but these planned out ones, and I know a lot of people like them, and I'm a been there, done that before guy. Pretend you have, but so Green Bay wins. Bears lose and the Lions win. Vikings game was flexed. They play the Colts here at the bank on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Lions and Green Bay play, so that game obviously has major implications, and that game will be over by the time the Vikings kick off. I'm not sure who the Bears have this week. I did not look. In regards to the Vikings, Tennessee, 5-0 start, toast of the town. Some of these, and really even all across the country, many of these power rankings had Vikings, if not the best team in pro football, one of the top 2 or 3. And it was hard to argue because the defense they were swallowing people up. I mean, they surrendered. Did the Giants score 6 points? Did they have 2 field goals, 1 or 2? Houston only got 1 score. I don't remember. Who did we play week 3?
Week 3, well, Houston was week 3. We had San Francisco week 2.
Oh, that's right. Okay, San Francisco was week 2. And we give them a few more. But, you know, that even without a McCaffrey, that's still a pretty good offense. We held them in check. Last couple of games, the defense, it seems like the Lions figured something out. They were able to, they despite the fact that Goff was sacked on a number of occasions, the Lions were able to solve that riddle, particularly in the second quarter, where they had 21 points. And the game that went down to the wire, Vikings had an opportunity to win the game, but they didn't come through on that 3rd and 4 when they could have milked the clock a little bit more. And then, of course, the 2-point conversion pass wasn't very good either. And that's basically been laid at the feet of Sam Darnold. A couple of tosses that weren't very good. And we all know the Darnold story, so there's no reason to go over the details of it. Darisaw out for the year, as everyone knows. And I think that's going to be that's
troublesome.
That's troublesome to say the least, I think, because as we talked about, there aren't replacements just waiting in the wings. I mean, you have backups, and there might be a guy you could trade for, but most teams aren't trading left tackles. They all want to keep them. So whether, is it Kingsbury?
Cliff Kingsbury?
Is that who our guy? No,
he's in Washington.
But who's our backup that came into the game for the Vikings? Quisenberry.
Oh, yeah,
Quisenberry. He didn't look. Again,
he's a journeyman swing tackle. That's what he is.
Middle of the game, it's hard to just jump up and go in and be in mid-season form. But yeah, he didn't look like he's the answer. And I don't know if Reisner is. I don't know if there's anybody else you can move over to that spot. Who's our left guard?
It would be Brandel.
I
would wonder if O'Neal could make the move.
Yeah, I don't. Do you shift one of those guys over? I just don't know. The other question I have for you,
I saw a name thrown out last week that was kind of interesting. David Bakhtiari. Now, he's the true street plays. He's Anthony Davis times 10. Maybe he might not even be healthy as we speak.
Is he retired or is he still playing?
I think he doesn't have a job.
Okay.
I think he's technically a free agent.
How about the guy from the Rams that the Hall of Fame got? Whitworth, is that his name? And isn't he retired?
Well, he's doing analyst work, yeah.
Well, does he want to win a ring or not?
He's
he's got one.
He's like my age, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got a ring, so I guess he doesn't need another one. Or
Meatsauce is available.
Yeah.
I think Meatsauce can play some left tackle.
Well, Bakhtiari might be an interesting, but whether he would want to.
I'd make a call.
Couldn't hurt.
See what he's got.
The player that I'm wondering about, though, tend to be, and I don't think it's the one player that I don't think is getting as much attention as he should. Where's Dallas Turner? Isn't that the kid we drafted first round? Was he 17th pick overall? And the Vikings claimed, and I think a lot of other people did too, these so-called draft analysts, these draftniks, that he was the best defensive player available, regardless of where you draft him.
Yes.
He was the best defensive player available. How many snaps has he taken, and do we know what the issue is with him? I know the coach was asked about it a week or two ago, and he kind of danced around it a little bit about, he's doing some good things, and we expect a lot of good. But I thought he was going to be more of an immediate impact guy, or what am I missing?
His snaps have gone down every game. Now, he was hurt after the second game of the year. So maybe he just hasn't felt great since then. But yeah, he's getting less and less snaps every game.
And that's
which is not a good sign because we gave up a lot for him.
Yeah, well, that's it. And again, early in the year, our defense was playing so well, it wasn't like we needed an impact player like Dallas Turner is supposed to be. And so, matter of fact, it was kind of a nice situation to be in. That all of a sudden, hey, we got a guy here's a guy that we drafted in the first round, might be the best defensive player available in the National Football League draft in 2024. We don't even have to play him yet. Kid can watch from the sidelines, learn it, do the film work, practice in game, go through the practice, and he'll be ready when we need him. And we could probably use him now, but he just hasn't been there. And I don't know, like you say, it's.
Can he play left tackle?
Well, it'd be nice if he could. How about Ezra Cleveland?
Is he available?
I don't know. Somebody just threw that up there.
Wasn't he a guard for us?
He may have been.
I think he was drafted as a tackle.
He drafted as a tackle. So, yeah, it's I don't know. Colts, I think you told me about them last week. They're right? I mean, did they have a winning record?
Well, they lost this week.
Oh,
they close one to Houston.
Okay.
I think they've lost twice to Houston, close.
Okay.
But I think they're 4-4.
Yeah, so they're all right.
Quarterback's getting a lot of heat. I think his completion percentage right now is 44%.
Is that the Richardson kid?
Anthony Richardson. Now, I will also say yesterday's game, I saw like a montage or like a highlight package of all the times his wide receivers let him down in that game.
Okay.
Where he was throwing, wide receivers are completely covered, and he's throwing it right into the perfect window, and they're not coming up with catches.
Okay.
So, as always in football, a one player's performance isn't necessarily all just on that player, but their passing game has been very bad for Indianapolis. And might be offensive line, might be receivers, might be quarterback, probably a combination of all. But he's elusive, though.
He is.
He can run. He can move. He can get out of the pocket.
Do you have any concerns Sunday, or are you ready to rack it up in the W column for the Vikings?
If they don't win, I'm very concerned about how the rest of the season's going to go.
Okay, yeah.
This has to be if you want to be a legit contender in the NFC, you need to win this one at home. They are mediocre at best.
What's the
and
spread?
even without, I haven't looked. I would guess it's probably like Vikings by 6. If I was running a sports book, that's what I'd go with.
You'd go with what?
I'd go Vikings -6 if I were running a sports book.
Oh, really?
Let's see. Look at that. Vikings are favored by 6.
Let me ask you a question, Teneby.
Yes, I would take a job setting up lines for a sports book. That's what you're asking.
No, we just talked about trying to find a left tackle replacement.
Yes.
Probably not possible. How about a left-handed quarterback? So the blind side is O'Neal.
Brilliant!
Kellen Moore's 36 years old. He's available. Kay McNown's 47. George Blanda played into his late 40s. He actually played into his 50s. Carson Palmer.
He's not left-handed.
He's not? Oh.
No.
Timmy Tebow.
He's available.
He's 37.
He's probably still in good shape.
Scott Mitchell's 56, so I don't know if that's going to work. Jim Zorn's 71. Mark Brunell's 54. Boomer 63.
What about Steve Young?
63.
Okay.
Mike Vick's only 44.
Is he that young?
And you know what we could call him? Mike Vick. He's 44. Vick's Formula 44. Got a nickname for him and everything.
Vic the Viking.
Yeah, great. We got a great endorsement opportunity for him. Again, the esoteric approach, looking for solutions that others wouldn't even consider. If you can't find a left tackle, find a left-handed quarterback. So, because we know O'Neal's one of the best right tackles in the game, your blind side is taken care. Voila, the labyrinth of losers we're having a parade. Trust me. We'll break. We'll come back. 10 to be. It's 534. Do you have a tease for it?
Yeah. Did Jordan Addison post a cryptic message over the weekend?